Okay, so I am gonna do another video on the way home, because I thought it's important to throw these types of stories in with you know, so it becomes obvious that A, you're definitely not a bully, and B, you know, you're just not picking out people you can beat in fights, and that you're definitely not embellishing, because who's gonna you know, throwing stories, you know, to be in is I've been in a lot of fights in the Georgia, a lot, like too many to count, a lot, you know what I mean? And that's not embellishment, that's not a lie. I just couldn't tell you how many fights I've been in my life, or definitely in the joint. I couldn't tell you, because once I started fighting, that was it. Once you realize you really like something, and that it's something that it's respected behavior in a place, that, you know, each fight you get in, and every time you handle your business, especially if you start doing it in a way that you're taking care of business, you get respect. So I started doing it so much that obviously I lost count, especially in Durham County bids. You know, I started to slow down towards the end, the older I got. But they're not all wins. They're not all wins. There were times that I picked the wrong people, that I got involved in shit, that I just got involved in too many things, that I wanted to be not just with the people I was involved with, and be the one to step up, but to be the person on the block to step up. And I would do that a lot, and that was a correction. So you know what, fuck it, I'll step up and fucking do it, just because I wanted to fight, you know, and just because of it, and like that becomes like a habitual behavior. It does, and then like you start doing it before thinking, and then once you do it, once you start doing it before thinking, something happens, you do it before thinking, and then boom, you already stepped up, and then it's time to party, and you find yourself getting involved in things that really kind of have nothing to do with you. And this is a situation where that was one of those things. It was finishing off that same bit. I was just the last video I did, that Bill Ricca, I was finishing off a 2.5 year Bill Ricca bid that was from and after a bunch of county bids I was doing. It was some from and after, some overlaps, but I was finishing that bid. So like I said, if you listen to that, I got shipped out of Bill Ricca for not just one incident, but multiple incidents. So I got shipped to South Bay. So I'm in South Bay. I'm up in the towers. I'm up on the 9th floor, I believe, at the time. And I'm in the towers because I just got in a fight in the 4 building. I don't know if there's some guys that might see this video or that are watching, but that might have been in the 4 building with me. In 2004, we had a white basketball team, and we were pretty good. But I was the best on the team. Alan White was on the team, God rest his soul. we were playing the Spanish team, and we knew a lot of the kids on the Spanish team, but this kid, we didn't know. He was a pretty good basketball player, but we were going back and forth. But he was a fresh fuck. He hit a 3 on me and blew a kiss, like in my ear. And normally a lot of people would just let that go in the heart or in the heat of a basketball game. Like, these are just talking shit. But we're in the joint, so, and I'm hypersensitive to everything. So I told him, you do that again, you're gonna get fired on. And I think he took that as, I don't know, I think he thought I was fucking around, or that I wasn't serious. So it happened again. Someone threw a pass through the middle of the key, and he intercepted it and took it for an open layup. And when I went to inbound the ball, he leaned in and blew a kiss, and I fired on him. And just lit him up. And fucking, I dropped him, and that was that. The bench is cleared. There was a lot of tension. Leslie Allen was mad because Allen's Mr. Let's all get along. And Davey Matson, fucking my guy, was like, fuck that. You did the right fucking thing. I'm like, I know I did the right thing. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And I'll go down there, and anyone who has a problem with it, we could do that. So I seriously fractured my right hand. So I should have really not gotten anything until this was healed. I shouldn't have gotten anything until this was healed. So now, it was a guy, his name was Robert Handy. Now, I always got along with this guy. He was, if anyone knows Handy, knows that he's a little bit fruity. But he was a con. Like, everywhere I went, I've ran into Handy. I was in Walpole with Handy, Concord with Handy, the Max with Handy, South Bay with Handy, Nashua Street. I think he might have even been in Bill Ricker, too. I don't think there's a place I've done time that I haven't ran into Robert Handy. So, but Handy's fucking done time forever. Like, Handy keeps a razor in his mouth at all times. So, we're in our cell. I forget who my cellmate is. Oh, Drew. Honahan was my cellmate. So, Honahan had just got parole. Now, I don't have much time left. I only got like a month or 2 left. I'm on my way out. So, we're in the cell, me and Honahan, and we hear fucking, help, help, help. Fucking, they take these 2 out. They're fighting, Handy and his cellmate. He had this young black cellmate. And then as they're pulling him out the block, the kid's like, he got a razor in his mouth. He got a razor in his mouth. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Did this kid really just say that? Did he really just do that? So that happened. And Handy was my buddy. You know what I mean? But not that it really would have mattered, because so the kid comes back to the block 10 days later, like nothing happened. So I'm out on the rec deck. We're in the towers, 9th floor. So this is going back to, we're in the towers, 9th floor. I was just telling you how I ended up in the towers. He just comes and just starts shooting around, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, I just fired the ball. I'm like, yo, I ain't fucking playing back. Get the fuck out of here. And he's like, yo, why is it gonna be all that? I'm like, the fuck you mean, why is it gonna be all that? You're a fucking rat. And he's like, yo, what the fuck? And so I'm like, yo, who you with? Who you with, man? And I go around, who's this fucking dude with? This dude a black dude? Like, who's covering for this dude? And I went around and I'm like, yo, is this dude with black? They're like, yeah, he's black, but he's a king. So I go around, I'm asking around, I'm like, yo, who's gonna take care of this? Who's gonna take care of this? This dude's not staying on this block another 5 minutes. And dudes are like, bah, bah, bah. And I'm like, fuck that. I'll take care of it. And I went, like, just thinking, I don't know, I never tried to sucker somebody with my left hand, with my left. And I just went and tried to sucker her with my left. I tried to throw a left. I don't know what the fuck it was, but if you're righty and you ain't ever really try to practice throwing a left hook socket shot, and it missed, and it's almost like he was ready because I was talking shit and getting everybody boom, and I walked right into a right that shut my left eye immediately, and I'm like, fuck. So now I can't, my right hand is still fucking fractured, still broke. I can't use it. So I'm sitting there trying to fight. He got me fucking boom, boom. I'm trying to really, now my shoulder, I had tried to throw another punch with my left, and it was like, fuck. I couldn't, my shoulder was fucking, I had fucking, somehow, whether it was with the punch and then wrestling and landing against the fucking, against the side of the rec deck, well, I dislocated my shoulder, man. Oh shit. So now I got a dislocated left shoulder and a broken hand, and I'm trying to fight this kid in a shut eye, and he's like, yo, enough, and I'm like, no. I thought at this point I gotta use my right, and I'm not stopping until they stop it. And like multiple times he tried to stop, and I just kept going. I just kept fucking fighting, and no matter how bad it got, like, and it did, right? It did. I was beat. Not only that, I ended up with stitches. So my right eye's closed. No, he hit me with the right, so my left eye's closed. My left eye had fucking a bunch of stitches over here. Split that. I had a sling because I separated my left shoulder, and they had finally put a cast on my right hand because I had re-broke it because I had started fucking using it. I had so much adrenaline, and I didn't feel any of them punches. I didn't. So going in and taking more of a beating really didn't hurt. But I would think that. So I remember going to the hole, and some kid was like, yo, you got fucked up, and I'm like, fuck you, motherfucker, I'll fucking fight you next. And dudes were down there that knew me. Was like, yo, chill, that's John, man, that dude's a G, like, fucking, don't, he's cool, like, that motherfucker will move on something. Like, I'm like, what, so what, I fucking lost. I lost a fight that I sat there and kept fighting with basically no arms, no hands, and no nothing. And I can't use my feet either. And for guys that were there, I never really asked, what was that like watching that? Like just me, and I never really asked Honey, although I've seen him 100 times after. Because he came and picked me up, and I still had a black eye, and yeah, I still, I had not a cast, they took the cast off, but just like a brace on my right hand. And I still looked, he's like, damn, man, you still got a fucking black eye, that's crazy. That shit was nuts. He's like, it killed me not to, because I told him, I goes, Honey, don't fucking jump in. Don't fucking jump in. No matter what, don't fucking jump in. Because he had his parole. I wasn't going to be selfish and have him lose his parole over me having to get involved in everything that doesn't involve me. So when I got out of the hole, they were like, hey, come to the rec deck. And the kid was on the rec deck. He was on the other, I was up in the 9th floor, 191 and 192, and they wanted me to see him get moved on by the Kings on the other unit, and he did, and they moved on him, and they got him good, and they're like, yo, that's for you, you're a G for what you did. And, you know, that shit happens. You know, eventually you're getting enough fights. And the kid wasn't big. He wasn't no special looking type of, it just was the wrong situation. The kid could fight. You know, he knew how to fight. I don't know if maybe he was bullied growing up or what it was, but the kid could use his hands, but he was a rat, and he ratted so blatantly. And I remember I was down in the hole, and the cops I knew well, which they were cool then. Like, they'd go to the Ford building, get me shit, bags of food from my friends in the Ford building, go grab me a radio. And the last time I went through there, after my last state bid, I had to go do a year there, and I seen the very cop I'm talking about, the dude Fletcher, who I was there when he started working there, and he's from Salty. I remember he went to BC High. He was a good hockey player. They played against Matanon when I went there in the Super 8, and I remembered him, and he was just a good kid. Like, he was very good to us, but he had completely switched up. Like, he'd come by and I was like, "Yo, Fletch, what's up?" And he's like, nah, like, "Hey, what's up?" And he kept it just cordial, but like no type of, like, he wasn't trying to be anything like he was before. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I don't, this place ain't the same as upstate, and trust me, I don't look at the cops. Look at cops like I used to. Like, I don't like correction officers, but you always treated me like a human being. You treated me more like a friend than an inmate. But you want some different shit now. I don't know what dudes did to fuck shit up, because you might have treated them, but Jigger and them kids that have been here and acting like idiots and shit for the past 10-15 years, but I'm not an idiot like them. I don't do that stupid shit. But whatever it be, would it be. I know that certain cops that were old school, that had been there long before him, dudes like Brinkley. And I don't know if guys remember Brinkley. He's from Malden. He's been working there since the 90s. He took care of me when I went back through there. He got me moved into Hosey's cell, which we had a TV, and God rest Keith's soul. I fucking love Keith like a brother, man. Every time I was there, I lived with Keith from when I met him, and we were in ASU in the hole together, and that was my guy. Hearing he passed was hard. Some people I'm numb to. I hear they pass, and I'm like, damn, that sucks. I knew them well, but there's some people that you hear they die, and it affects you differently. Hearing Keith passed affected me more than others. But yeah, that's a true story. I lost that fight. I lost it bad. That's the worst I ever been beat up in my life. It happened on the rec deck for 4 units to see, and I tried to turn it into like this kid won't stop coming no matter what, and hopefully I earned some respect out of that, and guys seeing that this kid doesn't give a fuck. Like, he'll just keep taking a beating and keep coming. And some people are too immature to see that and say, yo, he lost. And you know what? There was a kid from East Boston, I'm not going to say his name, that got caught running his mouth about that fight, saying, oh, he ain't tough. He got beat up on the rec deck, and it turns out he paid rent. He was paying rent to niggas, to Jesus Christ. Excuse me, sorry, to black dudes on that block, on that particular block. Them particular ones that did that to him were, there are ignorant people out there. There are ignorant black people, and sometimes I do refer to them as that, and it is what it is. You know, for the most part, I've done time with a lot of black people that I consider my friends, and I would never use that word referring to them, but anyways, they try to make Pat Flaherty and this kid pay rent. And Pat Flaherty wasn't having it, and he moved on one of the kids. And this kid from East Boston paid the rent to them, and had the nerve to say something about me losing that fight. Like some people just don't get it. So what? You know how many fights I've turned around and won afterwards, and had one before that? Like, it just, some people's thinking is just so fucked up. You taking shorts like that, paying rent up there, and saying shit about me. Some people's ears are really fucked up, and then want to say shit about other people, so they'll think it'll make them look better or feel better. I don't think it did either for the person, because they still have to live with that fact, and people know that. And he had said it to a person who had ended up beating him up over it, because I have friends that respect me and know that it ain't like that with me. Run your mouth and talk shit about me. Tommy Knowles, good kid, great kid from Summerlin, that put it to him afterwards for saying that shit about me, and then they told me why. But I gotta end this. I gotta go into CBS. But thank you for watching. Please share. Please subscribe. Please continue to watch. I will continue to share authentic stories as I remember them. You know, if the details are a little messed up, as Brett Coppola had to remind me of not the actual story, but of why we were down in L1 and M1 when Aaron Hernandez came in on Maddie's podcast on the W number. Like, I might get those things mixed up, but the actual stories themselves, I will usually have the details or the actual incident as close to correct as possible. Thank you.